The real reason your business isn't growing. You're working more hours than you ever thought possible. You're grinding on weekends, you're making the sales, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. But when you step back and look at your business, the needle just isn't moving. You feel stuck, maybe a little burnt out, and you have no idea why your company has hit a wall. It is the most frustrating feeling for an entrepreneur to pour your soul into something only to watch it flatline. Well, here's the truth. It's almost always the things you can't see that are holding you back. For years, in my own ventures and in advising hundreds of others, I've seen the same invisible barriers pop up again and again. These aren't huge, obvious fires. They're the subtle cracks in the foundation that stop a company from ever truly scaling. They hide just beneath the surface of a busy, seemingly functional business. Today, we're dragging the three most common ones out into the light. And I'm not just going to point them out. I'm giving you a clear, actionable playbook to smash through each one so you can finally get unstuck and start building momentum again. Section 1, the invisible barrier of cash flow. All right, the first and most critical barrier is a weak grip on cash flow. Now, you might be thinking, I know my numbers. I look at my revenue every single day. But here's the dangerous myth. Revenue is not cash. Sales are not cash. Even profit isn't cash. Cash is the literal oxygen your business needs to survive, and I've seen plenty of profitable businesses suffocate because they ran out of it. This barrier is so sneaky because on the surface, everything looks rosy. You're closing deals, sending out invoices, and your sales chart is pointing up. But behind the scenes, you're secretly sweating about making payroll. You're putting off that critical software upgrade or a much-needed marketing campaign because you're waiting on clients to pay. That's a cash flow crunch, and it is starving your business of the fuel it needs to grow. The problem usually boils down to a couple of culprits. The most common? Slow-paying customers. Your payment terms stretch out to 45, 60, even 90 days. You've basically become an interest-free bank for your clients, while your own bills are due right now. The other is a blind spot around your expenses. Those little recurring costs and unoptimized subscriptions are slowly bleeding you dry, one tiny cut at a time. So, how do we fix this? The answer isn't just to sell more, it's to manage the cash you do have with military precision. First, you need to build a 13-week cash flow forecast. Don't let the fancy terms scare you. It's just a simple spreadsheet that maps out your cash coming in and your cash going out week by week for the next quarter. It tracks when you actually expect that check to hit your bank account and when your rent, payroll, and other bills are actually due. This document becomes your crystal ball. It lets you see a shortfall weeks or months away, so you can be proactive instead of constantly putting out fires. Second, you have to become absolutely relentless about speeding up your collections. Your invoice terms should be net 30, max, not net 60. Set up polite automated reminders that go out before, on, and after the due date. And think about offering a small 2% discount for payment within 10 days. The tiny hit to your margin is nothing compared to the power of having that cash in the bank ready to be put to work. Finally, conduct an expense audit. Print out your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements and go through them line by line with a red pen. Question every subscription, every service, every single cost. The goal isn't to be cheap, it's to be strategic and eliminate waste. You will be absolutely shocked at what you find. Every dollar you save is another soldier you can send into battle for a high-return activity that will actually grow your business. Before we dive into the second barrier, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know which part of cash flow management you find the toughest. Is it the forecasting, chasing down payments, or trying to rein in expenses? I will read all the comments, and your feedback really helps me out. Section 2, the invisible barrier of team dysfunction. The second barrier quietly sabotaging your growth is team dysfunction. And I'm not talking about shouting matches or office drama. The most dangerous dysfunction is silent. It's a lack of alignment, a series of bottlenecks, and a complete over-reliance on you, the founder. This barrier is invisible because everyone looks busy. Everyone is working hard. But are they working hard on the right things? Or are they just waiting for your permission to do the next thing? This is especially true if you are the central hub for every single decision. If every client complaint, every new idea, and every minor hiccup has to cross your desk, you haven't built a company. You've built yourself a really demanding job, and you are the bottleneck. Your business cannot grow beyond your personal capacity to say yes. This shows up in a few ways. Maybe sales is laser focused on bringing in new customers at any cost, while your operations team is desperately trying to stay profitable. Or maybe you've hired brilliant, capable people, but you haven't truly empowered them, so they spend half their day just waiting for your green light. This micromanagement, which usually comes from a good place, a desire for quality, ends up strangling the very talent you hired to help you grow. If your business grinds to a halt the second you go on vacation, that's your sign. You are the barrier. The fix is to shift your role from being the star player to being the architect. Your job is no longer to do all the work. It's to design the system where the work gets done brilliantly without you. First, you have to over-communicate the company's vision and priorities. Your team needs to know the number one goal for this quarter so clearly that they can make independent decisions that support it. Is the top priority launching a new product or improving customer retention? When everyone is rowing in the same direction, you get true momentum. Second, you will need to delegate with systems, not just tasks. This means creating standard operating procedures, or SOPs, for the repeatable work in your business. An SOP isn't some boring corporate checklist. It's a tool for empowerment. It gives your team the clarity and confidence to execute work to a high standard without you. It's also what makes your business scalable. With great SOPs, a new hire can be a valuable contributor in days, not months. Finally, build actual feedback loops into your operation. You need consistent, structured ways to hear from your team and your customers. This could be a weekly huddle where you only talk about obstacles, or quarterly customer interviews. These channels let you spot friction and misalignment early, before they become massive problems. You can't fix what you don't know is broken. Section 3. The invisible barrier of a broken strategy. The third invisible barrier is a broken or even non-existent strategy. So many businesses stagnate because they're trapped in the whirlwind of daily operations. They're so busy working in the business, they never make time to work on the business. This one is invisible because the business feels incredibly productive. The team is busy, tasks are getting checked off, the to-do list is a mile long. But being busy is not the same as making progress. Without a clear strategy, your business is like a powerful car with no steering wheel. You're burning gas and making a lot of noise, but you have no control over where you're going. You just end up reacting to whatever pops up, chasing shiny objects and putting out fires. This leads to two classic problems: trying to be everything to everyone and making decisions based on assumptions instead of facts. When you try to serve every customer or chase every new trend, you dilute what made you special in the first place. You end up with a confusing message and a mediocre product. This is death by 1,000 opportunities. The solution is to create a focused, simple, and actionable plan. First, define your vision and break it down into a handful of measurable goals. Forget the 50-page business plan that gathers dust. Create a one-page strategic plan that answers 3 simple questions. What is our number one objective for the next 12 months? What are the 3 to 5 key results that will prove we've achieved it? And what specific actions will we take this quarter to make progress? This creates razor-sharp focus for the entire company. Second, identify and double down on what you do best. Instead of adding more services or features, focus on being the absolute best in the world at the one thing that provides the most value to your ideal customer. Once you dominate that niche, then you can thoughtfully expand. A focused brand is a strong brand. A scattered brand is a weak one. Finally, stop guessing what your customers want and just ask them. Replace your assumptions with real answers. Invest time in understanding their world, their challenges, and their true needs. Conduct surveys, do interviews, analyze how they use your product. When you know their world better than they do, you can create offers they simply can't refuse. This insight is the bedrock of a winning strategy. Look, I know that tackling these barriers can feel overwhelming. It's a fundamental shift in how you operate. To help you get started, I've put together a free, one-page business stagnation checklist. It's a quick diagnostic tool that walks you through your cash flow, team alignment, and strategy to help you pinpoint exactly where your biggest bottleneck is hiding. Comment below with your email. I will send it to you free. The conclusion. If you feel like your business has stalled out, I need you to hear this. It is not a personal failure. Every single successful business hits these plateaus. It's a natural and expected turning point. The danger isn't in stalling. It's in not understanding why and staying stuck there forever. Reach out, comment, subscribe. Let's talk. We've uncovered the three big ones. The cash flow crunch that secretly strangles your resources, the quiet team dysfunction that makes you the bottleneck, and the broken strategy that has you running in circles. By addressing these head-on, by forecasting your cash, delegating with systems, and creating a one-page strategic plan, you can and will break through. The journey from feeling stuck to feeling unstoppable begins right here, with this shift from worrying about the symptoms to fixing the root cause. You absolutely have what it takes to do this. If you found this valuable, do me a favor and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we are going to be diving even deeper into each of these topics in the coming weeks. See you in the next one.